Hello there. We just had a solar eclipse and now we are having a lunar eclipse. That is going to happen on October 28th of 2023. And here I have the chart for the lunar eclipse. This is the United States of America on the outside. Now then, I have named this lunar eclipse. It's all about the money, honey, for a very good reason. In astrology, we need three significators to make a prediction. So let's see what they are for this to be all about the money, honey. First of all, we have this in it here, which is Aquarius, and Saturn is in Dineshta, retrograde. Dineshta has to do with money, big sums of money. And Saturn being retrograde there means that we are reassessing, reevaluating, and re-examining our economy and our finances. The ascendant is in Purva Bhadrapada. Purva Bhadrapada is a harsh nakshatra. It is all about humanity, which means us, but it is also about the man with two faces. So we feel like we are being told one thing about the economy, but what we are actually witnessing is something else about the economy. Especially when you go to the store, the grocery store, you pay your bills. We know that it is not well, that there is indeed inflation happening. Now then, there are two houses that indicate, there's actually more, but right now we're going to be looking at two houses that indicate finances as well. And that is the second house as well as the 11th house. And it's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter goes over here to where the eclipse is happening, the lunar eclipse is happening, and it is also retrograde. So we have the second and the 11th house, which represent money, the ruler being retrograde, where the eclipse is happening. Again, we are reassessing, reevaluating, re-examining what's going on with our finances. So that is there as well. Now then, the interesting thing about this is that Jupiter is with Uranus, the Great Awakener, as well as with the moon, because it is an eclipse there. The moon is in Ashwini with Rahu. I did a video on Rahu Gandanta about how that causes the feelings of drowning and being overwhelmed. So with that eclipse pattern there, both the moon and Rahu being in Ashwini, we are feeling overwhelmed with a financial situation and not really sure what to do about it. But we are not the only ones feeling that way, as I will point out. Now, Mars rules Aries, which is where the eclipse is, which is also the third house, which I'm going to mention. Yes, the third house, before I move on, is about communication. So again, there's that theme of we don't feel like we're being told the truth about the economy. So Mars rules the third house where the eclipse is happening, but he also rules the 10th house, which is the government. So it's not only the American citizens who are feeling that way and getting on the bandwagon. The government officials are, because it's deposited here in Libra. So the masses and the government officials are up in arms about the current policies, what's going on, the ramifications of these policies, which I did a video in September. It was about September 9th, 14th through the 24th, about how that was going to be a great awakening of sudden events were going to be happening. A lot of people predicted that the United States was going to be attacked, but I didn't see it as that. I saw it as the truth. It was a bombshell because the truth was finally coming out. People were starting to see the ramifications of the current policies. They are getting heated up because Mars is here with K2. And I did talk about how Mars K2 is combustible. It is combustible. The good news is with this, though, is that K2 is only at 43 minutes of Libra in a very wide orb from Mars, which is in 17 degrees, 11 minutes of Libra. But there is still the influence of anger and irritation and frustration. That is there. The American citizens are feeling like the illegal immigrants are getting champagne and caviar while they are having mud pies and salty water. So there is some contention there. People are starting to feel it in the pocketbook. They're starting to feel it in their cities, in their towns, and even the politicians, even government officials are waking up to the reality of what is really going on in this country with these policies. So that is good. Now, the other thing is that this house involves Mercury, which is the ruler of the fifth for this chart, politics, as well as the ruler of the eighth, scandals, going here under this eclipse energy in Swati, which we're very concerned about. The sun is there as well, which is the ruler of the seventh, which is our allies there as well. Swati is energy. It is the wind that blows. So it is energy that cannot be bridled or pinned down. That is what we are feeling, that everything's out of control. There doesn't seem to be any policies. The spending is out of control. It's just everything's out of control, and we don't feel like the government is finding solutions. The leaders that be are finding solutions to these issues. So that is there. The other thing is, though, is this right here. And this is, we have the Venus, the ruler of Libra, going to Leo. Sun is the ruler of Leo going to Libra. So these two planets are in what we call parivatana. They are exchanging signs. This brings protection to those two signs. And it also brings a center of focus. So the sun usually is debilitated. It's not usually, it always is debilitated in Libra. But when you have the parivatana here, it reverses that debilitation. When the sun's debilitated, that is our vitality, that's our stamina, that is also our leaders. The energy is not strong or there to bring out the good results of the sun. So that is the reason why whenever the sun goes through Libra, which usually happens in October, November, around this time of the year, people's resistance to diseases is lowered, and as well as the stock market. We have issues sometimes, the stock market seems to dip. Every October it dips. You can count on that. Some people were predicting that we're going to have a pandemic and that we're going to have a stock market crash, but I don't see that happening, basically because of the parivatana protecting that. However, the last 2 weeks of November, Venus is going to move into Virgo, and so that protection will not be there. However, I don't see, there's not enough planetary configurations going on here to warrant a pandemic happening or also to warrant a stock market crash. What I do see is there will probably be a little correction in the stock market like there usually is. People become more susceptible this time of year to colds and flus, things to do with air, because actually in Ayurveda, we are shifting. When we come into the fall we are shifting from the summer season, which is ruled by, it's a pitta, which is a fire energy, going into vata, which is air energy. And the air energy tends to get out of balance. When that happens, it causes diseases if your resistance is low, having to do with wind. So the respiratory system, airy things, the respiratory system. So you see flus, COVID, and uptake in those types of diseases during that period of time. But there is not enough here to warrant another pandemic or a stock market crash. So that is a good thing. So it's being protected. I like that. Now, the other interesting thing is that for the United States chart, just to look at this here, the ascendant of the eclipse is the third house of the United States chart, which is all about communications. The moon is there, so the United States is getting its Sati. But with that being the ascendant being the third house of the United States chart, and the ruler, or the ascendant actually, being in Purva Bhadrapada, the man of two faces, the media is not telling us the truth about everything that's happening. And I know this is a common theme and we keep talking about it, but it is the truth. So they are going to have to change as Saturn, because Saturn being retrograde is bringing all this out. So first it was all about the addiction issues, the UFOs got covered up, fentanyl crisis, all that. Now with it, when it was in Shadow Bishop, now it's in Dinesh, which is all about the money. So we are looking strongly at the economy, what's been going on, what's been happening over a period of time. It's getting looked at. So we've got that energy there. And then where the eclipse is happening, it is the United States 5th house. So again, the politics and the politicians, what's happening there. So the solar eclipse, we saw that. That's why I called it What's Up with Our Government, because really, what is up with our government? I think what it is that people are starting to see the light. They've been divided for so long, but now the true impact of what being divided causes is being revealed. People are seeing it. They don't like it. So they are beginning to unite and come together, and there's going to be some push and shove and some volatility when that happens as they try to figure out how to handle these issues. Now, Americans pull together in a time of need. Just look back at 9/11. People dropped all their political disagreements and pulled together to unite to pull us through that crisis. I believe this is happening again. This is something that we have to go through in order to pull us back together again and realize and focus in on what really matters in our lives and for our country. And you do have good politicians who were there, who are very interested and concerned about our economy, who want it to, and the United States, who want to see the United States succeed and thrive. This is a time for them to come forth and voice their opinions. The other thing is, too, with this Mars K2 and this Uranus, and the second house is also speech, right? So it's there. People are getting fired up and they're beginning to speak out about these issues. No longer are they just being quiet and just letting bygones be bygones. It's gotten to a critical point where it's affecting so many people on so many levels that they are starting to speak out and say, no, this is not right. Something needs to be done here. And that's a good thing because that brings change. So that is basically what I feel this lunar eclipse is about, the main focus. And we're going to see this energy continue for the next 6 months till the next solar eclipse. But I will give you a little bit of a preview of what's going to be happening with this new eclipse pattern that we're starting to get into, because as you can see, K2 is starting to move into Virgo. The eclipse pattern has been between Libra and Aries, and it is in the process of switching. So the next eclipse will definitely be full-on eclipses in the eclipse pattern of Virgo and Pisces. So what does that mean? Pisces is the 4th house of the United States chart. Rahu's going to be there. So it brings, the 4th house represents our country, our citizens, our homeland. With Rahu being there, Rahu brings things into this realm, into this reality, into materialistic form, which means we're going to be very concerned about our homeland and the citizens, our country. K2 is going to be in Virgo, which is the 10th house of the United States chart. It's going to be about our government. K2 brings things out that are in the shadows. It brings things out from the past. And it forces change. So the next 18 months is going to be about our government changing. We are right on the cusp of creating a new form of government. The old way of doing things is not going to work anymore. All the corruption's coming out. Whereas before it was all hidden, now it's being revealed. So this is a good thing because it will bring change. I have done a video about the predictions for next year because next year, 2024, is going to be very impactful. And there's going to be a lot of changes. It's an election year. A lot of people are afraid of it. They're afraid of change, which I get it. It's not always comfortable to do that, right? But I have high hopes. So if you want to see what the predictions are for next year, it is going to be an adventure. Go to my website, www.michellebond007.com, to see how you can get those predictions. And while you're there, you also want to subscribe to my free newsletter so that you get the monthly predictions for your sign every month in your email, as well as any other insightful information I have. And another thing you're going to want to do to help you deal with all this chaotic energy is to give yourself a treat and join my meditation group. It's called Discover Inner Peace. We meet once a week on Monday evenings at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. This is a time for you to just chill out, put everything on hold, on the back burner, and give yourself a treat and take care of yourself and your mental health. We start off the class with insightful and inspirational philosophies, and then I guide you through meditation. So if you have never meditated or you don't know how to meditate, that's not an issue. I guide you through, and it is very easy and simple to do. But the good thing is that you will leave this group session feeling uplifted, inspired, and insightful, as well as very relaxed. So not only will you feel relaxed, but you also can benefit from the health benefits that meditation bring, like lower blood pressure, lower your risk for cardiovascular disease. Studies have shown that it may even prevent cancer. So there's a lot of benefits. So treat yourself and join our meditation group, Discover Inner Peace, and you can see that at my website as well. And you know, everybody's been dealt a deck of cards when they were born. And what I do is I help you see what those deck of cards are and help you plan strategies to play those cards, because the more strategic you play those cards, the more successful you will be. So be sure to go to my website, book an appointment, get the predictions for next year, and treat yourself to our guided meditation group, www.michellebond007.com. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel and click all notifications so that you don't miss any videos, and post a comment if you'd like. I love to read them and I do respond. Okay, so there you have it. Be courageous, be empowered, and I will see you next time.